My dear students, good morning. Today I am going to discuss under the basic concept of chemistry, second subtitle, estimation of elements. Estimation of elements. Under the estimation, actually first I will discuss the estimation of carbon and hydrogen. Okay, I am Dr. R. Gunasekaran, Professor of Chemistry, who is taking class for you. First, let me take now estimation of carbon and hydrogen. As usual, in this case, we have three important procedures we are following. One is basic principle, another is experiment, third is calculation. Basic principle I have already discussed to you. Here I will repeat again. When any organic compound containing the carbon and hydrogen we have to use. Kindly follow. For this, we are going to use the apparatus is Liebig combustion method. This is the Liebig combustion tube. This tube we are going to use for the estimation of carbon and hydrogen. Kindly follow. This is the method. I will come back later. So first I will explain the basic principle. What is the basic principle? When there is carbon and hydrogen, when you heat with copper oxide, that is copper oxide in presence of, so oxygen present there is getting oxidizing carbon to carbon dioxide. So say for example methane means carbon dioxide water. So carbon is converted into carbon dioxide, hydrogen is converted into water. This is the most important basic principle. So we are going to estimate the amount of carbon dioxide formed, amount of water formed. From that we are going to calculate the correspondingly the estimation of or percentage of carbon and hydrogen. Kindly follow. So this is the apparatus I told you, Liebig combustion tube. This is called Liebig combustion tube, a hard glass tube. So this tube, kindly follow, inside what are these? There is a sample of platinum boat containing a known sample, say W gram. We are taking W grams, a weighed quantity. You can introduce into the platinum sample inside the combustion tube. And the other side, just next you can keep copper oxide pellets. And then anhydrous, the blue color shows that is copper gas. Both sides, copper gas. So, before starting the experiment, disconnect these two vessels, U-tube. One U-tube containing unhydrated calcium chloride, another U-tube containing potassium hydroxide solution connected with God tube unhydrated calcium chloride so that no moisture will come inside. So before starting the experiment, disconnect, pass dry air, wash away everything, then connect it after placing your substance, a known quantity of W gram substance in the platinum board. That is, it is then placed over a furnace. So that it will be heated. When we are heating, what will happen now? Actually, heating, and as you know already, the carbon present it is converted into carbon dioxide, hydrogen present is converted into water. So, after the reaction completed, pass pure dry oxygen through that so that it will pass away the vapors of carbon dioxide and the water vapor. So, first U-tube containing anhydrous calcium chloride, the weight of the tube with the anhydrous calcium chloride is weighed already known, weight is known. The same way potassium hydroxide solution U-tube, that weight is also known along with potassium hydroxide solution before the experiment. So after passing this carbon dioxide and water, anhydrous calcium chloride will absorb water. Whereas carbon dioxide will be absorbed by U-tube containing potassium hydroxide solution. Now there is increase in weight of U-tube, anhydrous calcium chloride tube, and increase in weight of potassium hydroxide U-tube. So disconnect and weigh. So the difference will give the weight of formation of carbon dioxide and weight of formation of the water we can identify from this method. This is Libby combustion method. Kindly follow. I will come for the calculation. So from this experimental procedure, we are getting three information we know. One is we are taking a known amount of organic compound, W gram we have used. Then from the difference in weight of anhydrous the calcium chloride, we know the weight of water formed, W1 gram. Then we will go for the sodium hydroxide, that is the calcium hydroxide. Kindly follow. This is the potassium hydroxide solutions. So that will absorb carbon dioxide, so converted to that is. So that mass of carbon dioxide is identified, W2 gram. So we have mass of organic compound, mass of water formed, W1, mass of carbon dioxide, W2. So from this, we are going to determine the percentage of hydrogen and carbon. First, let me discuss the percentage of hydrogen. Kindly follow. We know the molecular weight of the water is H2O 18. So 18 grams of water contain 2 grams of hydrogen. So how much of water formed? W1. So W1 grams of water contains, we will calculate 2 by 18 into W1. That will give the amount of hydrogen formed. We know how much quantity we have taken. So W grams of organic compound contain 2 by 18 into W1 gram. So in 100 grams of organic substance, how much will be? So this is the formula for percentage. So percentage of hydrogen is equal to, kindly follow, 2 by 18 into W1 by W into 100. W1 amount of water formed, W the amount of waste organic substance used. So that is multiplied by 100. This will be in the percentage of hydrogen you can calculate. Kindly follow. The next, percentage of carbon dioxide. Please follow. As usual, carbon dioxide molecular weight is 44. So let me start now. 44 grams of carbon dioxide contain 12 grams of carbon. Only one mole of carbon is there. That weight is molar mass 12 gram. So W2, the amount of carbon dioxide formed, contains 12 by 44 into W2 grams of carbon. That is carbon will be present. So for W grams of organic compound contain 12 by 44 into W2. For 100 how much? We have to calculate. So I can say 12 by 44 W2 by W into 100. That is, I can now the percentage of carbon is equal to 12 by 44 into W2 by W into 100. Only difference is instead of W1 we are writing W2. That's all. So W2 the weight of carbon dioxide form. So if you do calculation you will get percentage. That percentage is called percentage of carbon. Kindly follow. Very, very easy. So carbon and hydrogen can be estimated by the method is called Liebig combustion method. Now I will go for estimation of nitrogen. Nitrogen can be estimated by two methods. One is Geldahl's method, another is Dumas method. In Geldahl's method, nitrogen is converted into ammonium sulfate. Kindly follow. Then from that ammonia will be liberated and estimated. Whereas in Dumas method, nitrogen is converted into nitrogen gas. And from that, the percentage of nitrogen is detected. Let me take first Geldahl's method. As usual, basic principle, experiment and calculation. In the Geldahl flask, as you know already, so what we are taking, a known quantity, say W gram of organic substance containing nitrogen is taken and it is heated with concentrated sulfuric acid and along with copper sulfate and potassium sulfate in a Geldof flask. Kindly follow, in a Geldof flask. Kindly follow basic principle experimental calculation. Let me come for the basic principle. So this is the basic principle. I will show you the flask later. So it will be like this. This will be a Geldof flask. So here, take your organic compound containing nitrogen, add concentrated sulfuric acid, potassium sulfate and copper sulfate. So by heating in a Geldof flask, what will happen? It will be converted into ammonium sulfate. Your organic compound containing nitrogen is converted into ammonium sulfate. Kindly follow. So this ammonium sulfate now formed in the Geldof flask, you transfer in a Geldof flask, and then you connect with the water condenser and side tube receiver. Kindly follow. So what we have to take now, you transfer this all the contents of ammonium sulfate formed carefully into another vessel, that is Geldof flask. In the Geldof flask, which is connected with the side tube condenser, and through the condenser, now we have a conical flask or beaker containing a known quantity of known strength of acid. So what will happen now? When you are now you have to add sodium hydroxide, excess sodium hydroxide into the Geldof flask and boil strongly. So when you heat with the sodium hydroxide, ammonium sulfate will be converted into ammonia, sodium sulfate and water, so that the ammonia gas is liberated. Kindly follow. Nitrogen is converted into ammonium sulfate and then into ammonia. Only we are going to estimate ammonia. So ammonia is coming through the condenser. So allow this gas to pass into a conical flask. Kindly follow. In a conical flask, you take in this a known quantity of acid, say for example sulfuric acid or the hydrochloric acid, anything you can take. Known quantity, let us say 0.1 N or any strength, and volume also you must. You take this strength, kindly follow. So what we have to do now, you pass this ammonia into this until there is no bubble, air bubble. That means until no ammonia gas is there. When the reaction is completed, now we are going to do the calculation. Kindly follow. Here the basic principle is V ml of N ammonia equal to V ml of N acid. That is the basic formula. Okay. Now see here, this is the Geldof flask. This is for heating of your organic compound, sulfuric acid, copper sulfate and potassium sulfate. So important information is, copper sulfate is used as a catalyst. Potassium sulfate is used to regulate the boiling point. That's why we are adding these two. Sometime question can be asked. After this, you are transferring into this Geldof flask, having the Geldof trap and to the condenser, water condenser. And this water condenser is going into a conical flask containing a known volume of standard acid. A known volume of standard acid. Please follow. That is the most important. Okay, the next. So now I will come for calculation. Suppose from the burette, kindly follow, that is, now after neutralizing these conical flasks, you take take a burette, kindly follow, a burette you take, containing the sodium hydroxide known strength, 0.1 N, let us say, known strength. And the conical flask containing ammonia neutralized with a known quantity of sulfuric acid. Now you take under this, now you titrate against sodium hydroxide. Kindly follow. You titrate against sodium hydroxide. When you are titrating using phenolphthalein is an indicator, so automatically appearance of pink color is the endpoint. After identifying the endpoint, now you know the strength of, kindly follow, you know the sodium hydroxide volume, you know the strength of sodium hydroxide, and you know the total volume of actually here correspondingly, so the acid strength we know, the volume we know. Kindly follow. From this I am going to do calculation. Kindly follow now. So please follow the calculation. Weight of organic compound used W gram as usual. I am always telling W gram. Volume used for neutralization is VML. Say let us say 25 ml I am using means I will say it is VML. The strength of acid is N. It may be 0.1. I am here calculation. I am using N. So the formula VML of N ammonia equal to VML of N acid. Kindly follow. I know from the theory 1000 ml of any solution of N, 1N solution contains is the molecular mass of the compound and the corresponding atom the molar mass of the element. So 1000 ml of N ammonia solution contain 14 grams of nitrogen. Please follow. So ammonia, please actually 17 gram. In this 14 grams is due to nitrogen. So we need only nitrogen. I am include only 1000 ml of nitrogen contain 14. So I know V ml of ammonia because I don't know how many ml of ammonia comes. I have no idea. So let us assume V ml of ammonia contains, so that 14 by 1000 into V ml of the correspondingly the gram of that nitrogen. 14 by 1000 into V ml of the V grams of nitrogen. 14 by 1000 into V grams of nitrogen. Now, next is W grams of organic compound contains 14 divided by 1000 into V into N gram. V into N gram is the actual calculation. So, what will happen now? Now we have to see for 100 grams of organic compound, how much it will contain. So the formula is, this is the formula. What is the formula? 14 divided by 1000 into the V into N divided by W into 100. Kindly follow. So, now I can say percentage of nitrogen equal to, please follow, percentage of nitrogen is equal to, this should be memorized. 14 by 1000 into V into N by W into 100. Kindly follow. This is you have to memorize. Next, I will go for estimation of nitrogen by Dumas method. Dumas method. As usual, I told you here nitrogen is, gas is produced and estimated in the form of nitrogen. Here, Dumas method, Libby combustion tube is used. In the Geldof method, Geldof flask is used. So what is the basic principle? As usual, you have to take your the organic compound, a known amount of organic compound, W gram, and introduce into a platinum vessel. As we have seen in the case of carbon and hydrogen, everything is same procedure we have to follow. The only difference is, the other end of the combustion tube, instead of connecting U-tube there, here we have to connect into a Kipp's nitrometer. I will show you the principle, the diagram. So what will happen now? When you are heating with the copper oxide, if nitrogen is present, convert it into nitrogen gas. So gas will be collected at room temperature by adjusting the reservoir containing the sodium potassium hydroxide, so that you know exact volume of nitrogen collected at room temperature. From this the volume we can calculate determine the percentage. Let me come for the experimental pass. This is the equation, general equations. We are not interested. So let me come for the Dumas method. Please follow this. In the Dumas method, so this is the Liebig combustion tube placed on the furnace. We are taking the organic compound plus copper oxide in the boat, platinum boat, both side copper gas, kindly follow, reduced copper gas here, and the through side tube which is connected to a Gibbs nitrometer, mercury seal is there. So nitrogen gas is collected over here. This is the potassium hydroxide solutions. By adjusting the reservoir, we can fix the exact volume, we can fix in the graduated measured Gibbs nitrometer. So before starting the experiment, you pass the simply carbon dioxide gas, wash away all the anything present inside, then connect the entire vessel, the Gibbs nitrometer containing potassium hydroxide, after introducing a known weight of substance, then heat the furnace. When we are heating, the nitrogen is converted into nitrogen gas and will be collected over potassium hydroxide. Here is the nitrogen. Gas is collected, which is adjusted by the reservoir. We know the known volume. Let us say V volume is collected. Please follow. So now let me come for the calculation point of view. Experimental we have seen. Calculation. So weight of organic compound used W gram. Weight of organic compound used W gram. Weight of N2 gas collected at room temperature VML. That is small v. Kindly follow. Small v. This is small v. Temperature T degree temperature. Room temperature. Kindly follow. Now we must know the aqueous tension at room temperature is, let us assume B. So I can now write a formula, volume collected at NTP. So I am converting the volume of ammonia gas, the nitrogen gas collected into volume at NTP, then only I can do the calculation. So that is the formula for this. This should be memorized. What is capital V? Capital V equal to small v, that is volume of nitrogen. B, capital B minus small b. B barometric pressure, I will come later. Small b, that is the aqueous tension. T plus 273, T temperature into 273 by 760. This is the formula you have to apply to find out the volume. So once you have collected know the volume at NTP, we can do the calculation by Dumas method. We know for any gas, 22,400 ml of any gas at NTP by molar mass, in this case N2 28 grams. But we know VML at NTP, so 28 by 22,400 into VT will give the in grams of nitrogen. So W grams of organic compound produces so much quantity of nitrogen. So for 100 grams of organic compound produces 28 by 22,400 into V by W into 100. So that will give the percentage of nitrogen. Kindly follow. This is the method we can determine the percentage of nitrogen in the Dumas method. Please follow. In Dumas method, in the form of nitrogen gas collected, we are determining the percentage. Okay. Next, let me go for the estimation of sulfur, another important element. As usual, there are three basic principles. One is here, basic principle, experiment and calculation. Kindly follow here. I am going to use a Carrier's tube. I am going to use. What is Carrier's tube? It will be like this. This will be a Carrier's tube. I will show you that. Basic principle, everything. After showing the, kindly follow this. This is the carrier's tube. Kindly follow. First you see the tube now. So this is placed in a furnace, electric furnace. So what will happen now? A known quantity of W gram, that is the basic principle. Known quantity of W grams of compound containing sulfur is placed inside the carrier's tube along with nitric acid. Concentrated nitric acid, kindly follow. And heat in a iron tube, electric furnace, iron tube. So this is fused, tube is fused. So what will happen nitric acid? The sulfur present will be converted in the form of sulfuric acid. Kindly follow. Okay, right. Just see here. I will explain the basic principle here. So organic compound containing sulfur, when we are heating with nitric acid, it is converted into sulfuric acid. So I will, after cooling, I will remove the carrier's tube. Kindly follow. And this carrier's tube, then I will break carefully, transfer quantitatively into a beaker, and then I will add sulfuric acid. I will add barium chloride solution. Because in the beaker, the sulfur is present in the form of sulfuric acid. When I add barium chloride, barium sulfate is precipitated. So I can filter this barium sulfate quantitatively and then weigh accurately. So I have two readings. One is W grams organic substance I used. W1 gram I am getting barium sulfate. Please follow. Only from these two readings I am going to do the calculation. Kindly follow. What is the calculation? Kindly for estimation. These are the two readings. One is the mass of organic compound used W gram, mass of barium sulfate formed W1 gram. So coming for estimation of sulfur. The barium sulfate molecular formula, if you take that, it is this you have to memorize. 233.4 gram of barium sulfate formula contains 32 grams of sulfur. Sulfur is 1, molecular weight is, the atomic weight is 32. So 233.4 grams of barium sulfate contain 32 grams of sulfur. And W1 grams of barium sulfate formed. So that contains how many grams? 32 by 233.4 into W1 grams of sulfur. So we used W grams of organic compound. So W grams of organic compound will produce how many grams of sulfur? 32 by 233.4 into W1 divided by W. Actually that is the case. Kindly follow. Okay, now let me come. For 100 grams of organic compound will produce, I will write 32 by 233.4 into W1 by W into 100. Or finally, I will write the percentage of sulfur is equal to atomic weight of any element. Please follow. This is applicable for all. Even halogens, you can use the same formula. I am giving you some hint here. So in this case, 32 for sulfur, 32 by molecular weight of barium sulfate. The W1, the amount of barium sulfate formed. W1, the organic compound, weight of organic compound used into 100 will give the percentage of sulfur. Please follow. So I am estimating the percentage of sulfur in the form of barium sulfate. Please follow. This method is called Carrier's tube method. The method is called Carrier's tube method. Carrier's tube. Carrier's tube method. Question can be asked. Next, let me go for estimation of halides. Chloride, bromide, iodide, similar procedure. Again, I am using the same Carrier's tube. Kindly follow. So, in the Carrier's tube, kindly follow the basic principle as usual. I know. I will take a known quantity of organic substance. The Carrier's method of estimating halogen involves a hard glass Carrier's tube about 50 centimeter length. Please follow, I am giving definition. Please, this is applicable for all the places where I am using carrier's tube. So the length is 50 centimeter length and closed at one end. The diagram, you know, this is the carrier's tube. The length is 50 centimeter hard glass tube closed at one end. About the 5 ml of fuming nitric acid and 2 grams of silver nitrate crystal in this case are added, and a known quantity of organic compound containing sulfur, say W gram, is added into this, the carrier's tube, and the open end should be sealed. And then you can heat in an electric furnace. We have already shown you the previous one. In a electric furnace, you have to heat it. Up to 300 degrees you have to heat. After heating for 5 to 6 hours, the tube is allowed to cool. The fused end is then opened and the contents are filtered, washed and dried quantitatively. Weigh accurately the weight of compound formed. What is the compound formed? Will be silver halide will be formed, because we are using silver nitrate. It may be silver chloride, it may be silver bromide, it may be silver iodide. So the amount formed will be W1 gram. Kindly follow. Let me come for the calculations. Under the basic principle, you know already, compound containing halide, fuming nitric acid, silver nitrate, we are getting silver halide. Then this is the furnace and we are doing all this experiment. Then this is the calculation. We have only 2 readings. One is amount of organic compound used, W gram, amount of silver halide used, the formed, not used, formed, W1 gram. Kindly follow. So, estimation of, first let me take estimation of chloride, silver chloride. Silver is 108, please follow. 108 is the atomic weight of chlorine. So, plus you can add atomic weight of chlorine, atomic weight of bromine, atomic weight of iodine. So, easily you can memorize the molecular weight. Please follow, my dear student. So, 108 plus 35.5 is 143.5 for chlorine. So, 143.5 grams of silver chloride contain 35.5 grams of chloride. Please follow. So, that is the chloride is present. So, W1 grams of silver chloride contains 35.5 divided by 143.5 into W1 grams of chloride. So, how much quantity of organic we used? W gram we used. So, W grams of organic compound will produce, what will happen? So, 35.5 divided by 143.5 into W1 by W. So, I can go the next step. So, for 100 grams of organic compound will produce 35.5 divided by 143.5 into W1 by W into 100, or percentage of chloride. Please follow, my dear student. 35.5 divided by 143.5. Atomic weight of chloride, that is chlorine, divided by the corresponding the atomic, this is molecular weight of silver chloride. So, this is the commonly we have to change. Only bottom and top will change. The other things are common. This is W1 grams of the halide form, W gram amount of organic substance used, 100. So, in this case, 35.5 divided by 143.5 into W1 by W into 100 will give the percentage of chloride it is formed. This is the method. The same way, I can now estimate the corresponding bromide also I can estimate. The procedure is same. I need not repeat. So 188, please follow, 108 by 80 is the bromide atomic mass. Bromine atomic mass. So 188 grams of silver bromide contains 80 grams of bromide. 80. W1 grams of silver bromide contains 80 by 188 into W1. So W grams of organic compound will produce 80 by 188 into W1 divided by W. So we'll go for now. So for 100 grams of organic compound will produce 80 by 188 into W1 W into 100. That is, percentage of bromide is equal to 80 divided by 188. Atomic weight of bromine to the molecular weight of the corresponding silver bromide. W1, the amount of silver bromide formed. W gram weight of organic compound use 100. So percentage of bromide it is, we can identify. The next one, estimation of iodide, same way we can kindly follow. In that case, so now 108 plus iodine weight. So 235 is the molecular weight of silver iodide. 235 is the molecular weight of silver iodide. You just subtract 108, you know the atomic weight of iodine. So atomic weight it is 127 grams of iodine. 127 plus 108 will give 235. So 235 grams of silver iodide contain 127 grams of iodide. W1 grams of silver iodide contain 127 by 235 into W1 grams of iodide. So W grams of organic compound we have used will produce, so 127 by 237 into W1 divided by W. For 100 grams, kindly follow. So what is the amount of iodide produced? 127 divided by 235 into W1 by W into 100. So this is the percentage of the iodide. Kindly follow. We are in grams will get. That is sorry. In percentage we are getting. Kindly follow. Okay. Next, let me go for estimation of phosphorus. Again, same carrier tube we are using. So experimental part not necessary. Only the basic principle you need. Under the basic principle, what we have to do, a known quantity of W grams of organic compound containing phosphorus is heated with fuming nitric acid. Fuming nitric acid excess. So what will happen when it is heating? It is converted into phosphoric acid. That is the main important thing. Converted into phosphoric acid. Then, in this phosphoric acid, now we are converting into the known substance called ammonium molybdate. By adding ammonium molybdate, you will get the ammonia, we will get ammonium phosphomolybdate, you will get. We have already detected that complex will form. Kindly follow. So let me come for the basic principle. Here we are taking organic compound containing phosphorus, we are heating with fuming nitric acid in carrier tube. First phosphoric acid is formed. We are just adding ammonium hydroxide followed by ammonium molybdate. So what we are getting is this complex, yellow precipitate. We have seen already under the detection. Ammonium phosphomolybdate is formed. This molecular formula should be memorized. Kindly follow. This is the tube we have used now. Kindly follow. So this is the experiment part. So let me come for estimation of phosphorus. Kindly follow mass of organic compound as usual W gram, mass of ammonium phosphomolybdate formed is W1 gram. So calculation very very simple. Finally follow. This is the molecular weight of ammonium phosphomolybdate. You have to keep it in mind. Memorize. There is no other way. So 1877 gram of ammonium phosphomolybdate contains 31 grams of phosphorus. Atomic weight of phosphorus 31. So W1 grams of ammonium phosphomolybdate contains 31 divided by 1877 into W1 by W. So for 100 how much? That is the percentage. So W grams of organic compound contains so much. For 100 grams of organic compound contains, now what will happen? 31 divided by 1877 into W1 by W into 100. That is the percentage of phosphorus. Kindly follow. That is the percentage of phosphorus. Please follow. This is the things you have to kindly follow. So this is the, my dear students, I hope you have enjoyed the class estimation of the important elements I have discussed. Thank you, my dear students, for the kind cooperation you have given. And students or others who are coming for my channel, NEET Chemistry by Dr. R. Gunasekharan. If you are your first time you are seeing means, please click like, share your friends and press the subscribe button. And I have one important information to students who are waiting for coming NEET entrance examination, specifically +2 completed, +2 studying students. And even +1 students also it is necessary. We are having a center, Vetri Coaching Center, that is in Pondicherry for the last 21 years. The professors who are handling classes are all PG professors with a doctorate degree, guiding MPhil and PhD students, taking classes for the more than experience, 30 years experience. Okay. Now, the three important features regarding Vetri daughters I want to inform to you. One important feature, our Vetri daughters, the online port, online channel, giving now for you 200 video recorded lessons and 200 the test it is given, unit test. You can ask me, what is the importance of this one? The lesson, it is video recorded lessons. Professor, when they are taking class, you can see the professor, you can see the board writing, everything you can see directly. But professor, when it is writing on the board cannot, you can see directly the board. Our program is such a way that a separate camera for board, separate camera for the professor, so that it is a different software. So if you see any online professor writing on the board, you cannot see the board. Here it is entirely different. So when you are looking the online, so you can stop wherever you want, note the formula, note the definition, note the derivation, everything you can. This is regarding for lesson. Coming for unit test, the most important feature is we have framed questions unit wise, 45 questions as per the NEET entrance examination pattern. All questions are taken from 20 years of IIT, AIMS, AIFMC, AIPMT, MSET Andhra, Delhi, etc. So what is the advantage of framing these questions in the unit? So we have observed for the last 6 years, 75 to 80 questions of same question repeated. Same questions repeated. So Vetri daughters will give you 300 plus. A bonus mark to you. So minimum 300 marks with you. You will be very happy. Then you put your hard work and sincerity and do practice. You will get 300 plus. So automatically 600 plus if you get in the NEET entrance examination conducted by Government of India, you will be in All India rank. You will become doctor easily. This is the first feature. The second important feature, while writing the test, there is a menu called attempt. If you click attempt, it will ask, it will show the page. There are 45 questions, 45 minutes. For correct question, correct answer, 4 marks. The wrong answer, -1. It will inform. Are you ready? Okay. Click OK. Immediately, the window will open. In the window, what you can see, first question, number 1, option A, option B, option C, option D. Then below, there is a menu called complete. Here, another menu called next. Here that is previous or reverse. So, complete, next, reverse. Please take care. Without your knowledge, if you press complete, the entire thing will be over. So you should not do, you should be very careful. Keep away your finger. So you have to touch either next or river. That's the only thing. Only after completing the test, 45 question answered, you have to press the complete. Even complete, it will ask is it okay or not. That also the another provision is provided. That also you can escape that way also. Okay. What I want to inform you. So suppose if you feel A is the correct answer, click A. And below this, the menu complete, next and reverse, there is another menu here. There is number 1 to 45 questions, number will be there. 1 to 45 number, that will be in yellow color. So while you are answering, suppose if you answer A option for question 1, immediately the yellow one becomes green color. The second number will become blue color. All the remaining numbers will be yellow. What is the advantage is, you know what question you have attended, what question you are going to attend, and what are the questions not to be attended. What is the advantage is, if you do not know question correctly, leave it, go for next, go for next. So first 3 steps you have to follow. First go for all known questions, click completely, go up to 45. Then second, you take only theory alone, think twice, thrice, and if you satisfied with 80% satisfaction, click now. And third, you go for problems and hard question and work out. If a problem answer is correct with the coincide with the correct answer, click. So all these cases, please follow. The yellow color will help you. That means the question you have not attended will be in yellow color. The lowest yellow you have to click, that will be open. This is the most advantage of review, which is not available in any online platform in India. Please follow. The third important feature I want to give to you is low cost. It is suitable for poor people. Only 10,000 rupees we are charging for per year for all the 4 subjects. Only 10,000, nothing. Even a very poor people studying in government college, government school, they can offer this. So what actually I am telling parents, those who are saying this, you can allow them to go in +1 itself. So they will be very, very familiar. When they completed +2, definitely they will get more than 600 marks. So how to pay? Pay the 10,000 rupees in the name of Santi Indian Bank, account number 7127194771. IFSC code IDIB000P134. And if any doubt or clarification, contact my number, cell number 98941-76425. Thank you, my dear students. See you again in the next class. Bye.